Welcome. This is for March 2nd. It's Transfiguration Sunday coming up, and we are in Luke chapter 9, verses 28 through 45. And really, the main idea here is that sometimes it's impossible for us to explain what just happened right in front of us. Now, the phrase in this passage that always catches my attention is the dazzling white. And I think it's kind of a funny descriptor because, well, white is white. And while there are 600 options of white at Menards and Lowe's and Home Depot, I think we can be a little bit realistic here, and well, they all look the same, right? So when I read dazzling white, well, I think of freshly fallen snow on the next day, right? Right when the sun hits it just right, and there's a sparkling in the snow that is blinding. Now, if you happen upon this dazzling, fluffy stuff and, well, didn't know what it was, chances are you'd be speechless too. And I think that's kind of how the disciples felt. They didn't know what was going on, and they didn't have the words for it either. They saw two men talking to Jesus, and then it was only Jesus on the mountaintop. Now, where those two men disappeared to, they don't know. They had no words to explain the situation to anyone if anyone asked them. And so when Jesus and the disciples went down from the mountain and the crowd met them, Jesus did what he did best. He made a difference in someone else's life. He healed a child who was possessed by a demon. And the crowd was stunned because just like the disciples were earlier, they wouldn't have been able to tell you what just happened. Well, because it wasn't something they'd seen before. So it should be no surprise that when Jesus told the crowd he would be betrayed, they didn't know how to respond to that either. It wasn't something they'd encountered before. And as a result, they didn't ask questions because they didn't want to be seen as foolish. And maybe that's a good question for us this week. Right? How would you respond if one of these two things happened right in front of you? Would you have the words to explain what happened? Blessings on your week. And know what you do matters. I'm so grateful for your partnership in the gospel.
In Christ we aspire to journey with one another in grace, in faith, in love and service.